It's Triple Threat Podcast. This week we talk about the Ravens and the Patriots. Who won? Well, if you're listening to this show, you're probably okay. So if you heard that laugh, you know what team Alex. If you heard that laugh, you know what team Alex. Oh, you didn't interrupt me that time. Well, he kind of did. If you heard that laugh, and you know what team Alex goes for, then you know who won. And we'll also talk about the Seahawks and the Panthers. Who won? You probably already know that too. And we'll also talk about the Packers and the Cowboys. Who won? Well, that's a good question.
Who won the Broncos game? Because we all know that.
Everybody knows that. It's common knowledge. Who won between Canada and Russia at the World Juniors? If you know what country Alex is from, you know who won that.
Yeah.
This week, Triple Threat Podcast is brought to you by MailChimp. MailChimp, does that woman really not know how to say a CH sound? Hit the music. All right, we're back.
She's pretty clearly not from an English-speaking
I know,
country.
but
so I don't understand why anyone
drives me
funny at all.
I do. You're smiling.
I know what MailChimp is. I don't get the reference. Is it a commercial of some sort?
It's from cereal.
It is a commercial.
Yeah. It's a podcast cereal. I know.
Man,
we're supposed to mention other podcasts.
I know, but that SNL version when they're talking about Santa Claus is such.
If you listen to it, it's even better.
And I don't, and I know how, and I still know it's like scary accurate for some reason. So
yeah, I shouldn't have seen the sketch before I listened to the podcast because now I just picture Cecily Strong doing the show.
A.D. Bryant is a star in that sketch because she does.
A.D. Bryant is just a star.
She's a star in general.
Period.
So
little baby 80.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a brisk one this week. We're going to be wall to wall with information, fun, and frivolity. And
you know, people say life is a marathon, not a sprint. But this is the opposite of that.
Life is a highway. I'm going to drive it.
I'm going to drive it
all night long. So, Will, what happened to the Patriots-Ravens game? Let's have you tell us.
What happened during the Patriots-Ravens game? I'll tell you what. The Ravens didn't have enough time to know that.
Not true.
Whatever
you're about to say is not true. You should look at the rule book.
Yeah, that's what Brady says.
Okay, whatever.
It's not the fact that it's an illegal formation. It's that when they deemed Vereen ineligible but lining up in receivers, then the Ravens say they didn't have enough time to sub.
That's
yes.
okay. That's part of
But I don't
football,
think you
though.
need to give him time to sub.
They announced it.
Whatever.
Peter King said,
I'm not gonna sit here and complain about one play. It was a good game.
Or three.
Between the Ravens and the Pats.
Say that everyone called it, kind of an instant classic, which I didn't recognize at all during the game because I'm just so stressed out and to be down, and everyone's like, "That's a classic." You're like, "Is it?"
How does anyone enjoy that? I don't get it.
Sounds like you lost your voice too.
I'm about to mention how I lost my voice when I'm the biggest Jillian Edelfield fan there is, and so
that's Julian Edelman for
that's Julian Edelman. Julian Eglinton.
Mini-Tron for some reason.
Yeah. For some reason, because he's as good as Calvin Johnson, but he's smaller.
Pretty smaller and white.
And Brady.
Okay.
That's, I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Mini-Tron is not a transformer.
A 51-yard touchdown pass to Danny Amendola. I had to be admitted into a psych ward because I literally lost my mind. And I went insane, and then this is why my voice is as such.
I can attest to this. I was there.
I had just spoken to my mother who was in the room and talking about how Matt can be very loud all the time.
I was gonna say you're always calling Matt out on how loud he is.
Yeah, and then so I'm like, Mom, I'm not that loud, and that happened, and I screamed at the top of my lungs. There's also a good one when McCourty had his interception. I jumped on the exercise bike and started pedaling. Jumped on it.
It was an entertaining game, both on the screen and in front of it, with Alex's maniacal frivolity.
Reactions,
nice.
I guess.
Yeah,
Maniacal frivolity. Wow.
It's the name of my autobiography. Maniacal frivolity. It was a good game. Mistakes on both sides, and
we don't
mistakes on our side, obviously.
And we don't trash talk during the game either, so because we're just too nervous to say anything. But yeah, no, it was good. I mean, I kept just being like, they can't stop. The Pats were unable to stop the Ravens for most of the game, giving how everyone's like, oh, their defense is so good. Their defense is so good. Brady threw that interception late in the first and was devastated, and then they came back and scored. And then I was like, we have to have turnovers, but playoff Joe Flacco does not throw interceptions typically. And then when McCourty got one, and then Daron Harmon got that one that kind of capped the game, I was a lot happier. So I mean, it's going to happen, but Flacco's just unreal.
Yeah, it was
down the throat. The first two drives, 71 and like 76 yards, boom, boom, really fast.
Yeah,
really,
he was
kind of rude actually, because you're a guest in someone's house and you're just
to watch, too.
driving down their throat.
I think Joe started like 9 for 10, 109 yards.
He was 8 and 8.
Like
yeah, 8 for 8 for a while. And then
so he's done real good, but that last interception he threw, I think that was a bad call. It was on second down. I don't think he should have made that throw.
You
obviously,
do it right, because you go deep on that because they're not expecting it. Except they were.
Yes, except they were. So, but what do you guys think of your Darrelle Revis?
I thought the two PI calls were brutal. Yeah, the one on Torrey Smith and on Browner was awful. If you look back, Torrey Smith stops, hits Browner to draw contact, and then flops. It's crazy. It's insane. So that was really frustrating. And the second one on Smith, I thought he was just keeping him to the outside, which is where the pass went. It didn't look, I don't know, neither one looked like PI to me. So I love Revis. So,
and the fact that there wasn't holding called on Gronk for that play where he was totally.
Oh my god! Yeah. That was brutal.
Really unimpressed the officiating.
From what I could see, most of the calls went the Ravens' way.
Yeah, so you agree. I don't know. Like and that was a stat before the game, which is Flacco's good. He has decent downfield numbers. But then on top of that, there's the PI calls that they get all the time. And I thought both of them were really suspect. And then Gronk got, like Luke Kuechly, during the game just got, mauled, and there was no call on that. I mean, he couldn't even bring his arms in to catch the ball because he was already, being mauled. So I don't know. It doesn't matter now. There was actually right after that Torrey Smith one, there was that weird taunting penalty he got for throwing the football down, but no. They're on the one and then they're on the six. Didn't matter if they scored. Justin Forsett had that, strolled in the end zone the next play, but that was a weird one.
But have some discipline, right? Don't spike the ball at another guy's feet.
Yeah, exactly.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But Chris Collinsworth said himself that drive the Ravens had to settle for a field goal. He said that this is the difference between. He's like, a difference between a touchdown and the field goal could be the game here, and obviously it was. And the Pats move on. And I got good news for the Patriots. The New York Giants are not in the playoffs. So I think they have a very good chance to win the Super Bowl this year, you guys. I think they do.
I don't know. Seattle looks... Well, first of all, we're on to the other team.
On to the horses. We're on to the horses.
We're on to the horses. And then...
did Bill actually say that?
No, that's what we say, because the Colts...
Yeah, I know.
And what he said was we're on to Cincinnati, and that just blew up. Blow up.
Yeah, it blew up.
But yeah, it's very hard to enjoy a classic game when you're so emotionally involved. Like, sweating.
I tried to not sweat it too much, but toward the end, I was really, hurting. Obviously, too, because yes,
well, I know. Whole game, really. I mean, when the Pats went up, that was the final score was the only time the Pats led the game.
Yeah.
And go up 14-14 and have the Pats come back. I mean, that's going to be frustrating. So I feel you. I feel you, bro.
It's frustrating, but whatever. Is what it is, was what it was. And that Hail Mary I didn't think was going to.
No, but there's still time on the clock. You're just like, everyone's like, yeah. You're like, well, there's still 4 seconds left. So I don't know.
Yeah, and those 2 timeouts they took in the second half, 2 early ones, that kind of hurt him too, because they couldn't really stop the clock at the end, except for that one time.
Yeah, well, they're letting the clock run down, and people are like, "The game's over." It's like, well, they still have a timeout, so I think instead of just taking the timeout at the beginning, they take it at the on the last knee. I thought the Pats should have been running it, because one first down, and you just hold on to it. I understand ball security and stuff like that, but still,
yeah.
if you run it, you can at least have a chance to get a first down, and then completely don't even have to bother punting, because Jacoby Jones is a not a guy you want to punt to ever, and Flacco's not the quarterback you want to be allowing to throw a Hail Mary at the end of the game. So, although it was AJ Green one last year, right? Where they, instead of knocking it down, they threw it up in the air and he came down on a Hail Mary against Baltimore. Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, that was bad. And Ravens season postmortem on my end. Good season. They made it the farthest out of any team in the AFC North. I was happy about that. They managed to overcome some controversy, and that's an understatement, at the beginning of the season. And I was glad to see them beat the Steelers and gave the Pats a hell of a fight. So another one in the pantheon of Ravens and Patriots playoff games.
Yep.
This one goes your guys' way. So
I needed Flacco to come back to earth just a bit.
Yeah, you guys. Yes, he's proven he is mortal in the playoffs. Although he did throw 4 touchdowns. So
you see Brady's eye though?
Pretty good.
His eyes. I think Jernigan poked him in the eye in a scrum after the something. There's a picture I saw where it looks like he's poking him in the eye, and Brady's got kind of a blood vessel in his eye now. Not like it's going to affect his. It's not going to affect his vision or anything, but yeah.
He's got the crazy eye.
Mind your business. It's all mind your business.
The crazy.
All right.
Man? Yeah.
All right. So that's that game.
And then other
earlier
games
this week, there's another
that are less important,
exciting. Yes. Well, earlier this past week.
Oh yeah.
And exciting. What's the news?
Did you guys hear the other football news though?
Ryan, right? Double R.
Rex Ryan going to be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, so he's just going up.
Yeah. So we're not
change his driver's license.
I should want him out of the division. Like get the heck out of here. And like the Bills' defense is good already.
Yeah.
And, they're a quarterback and away from being a legit team, and I just don't want to deal with it.
Not an easy position to fill, though.
No.
Not easy. No,
it's not. It's not.
Maybe
that's for sure.
Okay, do we know what Matt Sanchez's contract situation is in Philadelphia? I said Matt.
You don't want him to be your Sanchez.
I think Rex does.
No, you think so?
You don't think so?
So, I mean, at first, that tattoo Rex Ryan has of his wife in a Mark Sanchez jersey. It was kind of awkward. Although it wasn't a Sanchez jersey, it was a number 6 jersey, which at the time was Sanchez. But you can make the excuse afterwards that whatever. But now he's a coach of the Bills, and he's got the friggin' Jets jersey tattooed on his body. So, I don't know. Kind of awkward.
That's why tattoos are almost always a bad idea. Folks, the Anti-Tattoo Podcast. Don't get them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Well, you got to look at how many NFL players probably have an old team's logo tattooed on them. And I don't mean college. I mean like the
college
NFL. Or maybe they
get a college tattoo.
College makes sense because you'll always be from. Is
that a real question? Because I can't really answer that. Can't really answer on how many NFL players have old teams tattooed on them. 6? I don't know. What do you want me to say here? 7?
Well, it's rhetorical, obviously.
No.
All right, so Rex the coach in Buffalo. But I'm saying earlier this week there's a game that some people would consider a classic. I suppose I would too. The World Juniors Canada breaks a 5-year gold medal drought and beats Russia in Trana after going up 5-1. Yes, Russia comes up 3 to make it 5-4 going into the third period. And in the third period, nobody scores, which benefited our fair country.
I wouldn't have seen that coming, that's for sure. But Fucali locked it down.
He did lock it down, yes. The Quebec Rempart tender did lock it down.
There's 2 things I didn't want to happen in that game when they won 5-4. I didn't want someone thinking they had to score to give them some breathing room. And I also didn't want them to play defensively. I just wanted them to keep playing their game because that always happens. Young kids, they're playing not to lose instead of playing to win. So they kind of get off their game plan. They're back on their heels. And I thought they played a very strong third period for someone who doesn't watch a ton of hockey. But I mean, it wasn't overly terrifying at moments. So they just kind of kept doing what they were doing.
Yeah, well, the thing is with the juniors especially, you get a lot of kids that are really mentally they're not as advanced as a lot of NHL players are. No, not you or I. I mean, but they, Ray Ferraro keeps bringing it up. They're emotional. Their emotions get the best of them. Maybe that mentally knocks them off their game. But yeah, I thought we had a pretty calm squad. They held it in there. And that's, I think it's a result of good coaching and a good team. And I really had a feeling that this team would win gold. I thought we were stacked. I really did. I thought
they really were.
Though. We're always stacked. There's never a year
but especially this year.
Okay. I don't know, 2 years ago when like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is your guy, I was just like, all right, well.
He went first overall in the draft.
Yeah, so.
For the Oilers, how they doing?
So did Chris Phillips. I still want him like being the guy.
I can't.
Ryan Leaf went second overall in the draft. That's not a good reason to have him be your guy, and he wasn't. No, okay, they didn't even medal.
What's the reason he goes first in the draft? Because he had very good time playing junior hockey. What is the World Junior? It's junior hockey.
He had very good time playing junior hockey, but then the guys like Sagan also had very good time playing junior hockey, and he didn't even make the team. So.
Yeah, I think what Alex is saying is that you pin all your hopes on this one kid, and he's not maybe the guy.
Yeah,
you wanted to be. Saying. Like this year, it's hard to say who the guy was. It was Max. It turned out to be Max Domi, but everybody going into the tournament was all about C. McD, and C did a great job. But I think there's a lot of skill and speed on this team, and everybody stepped up.
Yeah, everybody stepped up. Duclair, Reinhardt line was unreal.
Yeah, it was unreal. Yeah. So they did quite a good job. I don't have other teams in front of me to compare this team to, but obviously the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, I was a bit worried going into it because our road was really easy compared to the Russians, but Denmark and Slovakia in the quarters and the semis. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Yeah, it usually goes the other way. It usually starts out with the 8-0 games and then goes to the closer 5-2, 5-3 games, 5-4 games, whatever. But this year, he had Denmark in the quarters, and they certainly were on the ice as well, and that was very nice of them. And Moosehead and Jet prospect Nikolai Ehlers, he had a great tournament, so good job, buddy.
They did. They got their first win.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they did. Yeah, that was a very big deal. Speaking of Mooseheads and All-Stars in the NHL, Jonathan Drouin gets named to the All-Star rookie team. You guys get a chance to see those All-Star jerseys, by the way?
Yeah, pretty bad. I think they got leaked leaked a little while back, and I was like, I hope not. But they are.
And it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it turns out these days Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. They look like Monster Energy drink jerseys. I saw somebody put that out there.
Yeah, they do. They look bad. Right now. Neon green does not belong on an NHL jersey, if I may say so myself. Yeah, that's. I find these days, anytime you're like, oh, I hope not, at an announcement, a photo or something. Mm-hmm. Anytime you're like, I hope not, it turns out that is the case.
Yeah, his life is a nightmare.
More often than not. Yeah, more often than not. Alex, did you take a look at him yet?
No, they're not No, those aren't them. What?
Yeah, big.
Those them.
Steel looking NHL logo in the middle, which looks horrible.
Oh, these are awful.
I really didn't like when they did the Stadium Series jerseys.
Series?
No.
Yeah,
I didn't. I honestly didn't like that they did alternates for those at all. Actually, I think that's dumb. They should have alternates for the Winter Classics, and they should have the third jersey. Sorry, you're quoting me? Go ahead.
I hope not, but I guess it is.
To quote Matt, I hope not. Classic.
But congratulations to Roberto Luongo for making the All-Star team.
Did he really? Is he having a good season, I guess?
He's having a good season down in Florida. Like people are now kind of like, they're saying shoot, I don't remember the Panthers coach. The Panthers are doing quite well. They're like maybe early Jack Adams candidates.
Oh, it's Ron Rivera, just to be clear, just so you know.
Riverboat Ron HC.
Yeah.
That's the guy. And whose house is fine, or his family's fine. I guess his house is a little torched, but I guess his team didn't do so hot.
Defense. Oh, sorry. Don't kick a man when he's down.
They allowed less points. They allowed less points to Baltimore, though. So there you go. Yes. So they're saying early candidate for Jack Adams Trophy, Aaron Eckblatter League candidate for the
Norris.
Shoot, I don't know. Norris or Calder?
Calder's rookie. Norris's defense.
Yes. I know, and he's both. So I think it might be. Well, we'll say both.
The much talked about the Norris Calder.
The Norris Calder. Norris Calder. What do you call her?
I was just about to do that exact.
No, I got it.
I'm glad both of you didn't do it.
I did. And then they're saying Bob's an early candidate for the Vezina Trophy. So I was leaving work the other night, and on the street I see a Canucks ticket, and I walk, and it's face down. So I'm like, maybe it's a torn ticket from the other night. I'm certainly not going to pick up garbage and look at it. 2 steps later, I'm like, well, I might as well. So
it's garbage. I'm going to pick up this garbage. No one's looking.
So I picked up this ticket, and you can check Instagram for it. But I picked up this ticket, and it was for the game that was happening in 5 minutes. For a 10-minute walk away, the Panthers and the Canucks. And I looked at it, and it's like Upper Bowl ticket, $62, something like that. And the ticket on it says "courtesy of John 3:16." And I was
like, crazy that a Bible verse gave you that doesn't make. I don't know how a Bible verse could have done that, but it's remarkable.
Yes, yeah, I know. Maybe it was God just kind of putting there.
Why didn't he say Jesus? That makes more sense to me.
Yeah,
just put on there the Christ.
Yeah, courtesy of the Christ. So I took a look at it, and I was like, what do I do with this ticket? And I wasn't going to go to the game because
I thought that was a joke. I thought you were going to the game and you're just kidding that you found it. So that's why I called you a big fat phony.
Yes. And that really
yes. Don't dismiss me with your guesses.
Yes. I need to explain. That it actually was a ticket that I found on the ground walking by. So I wasn't going to go to the game because it's courtesy of whatever John 3:16, and I'm not going to go to this game and walk up the steps and sit by this guy's buddies and be like, "Hey, where's Jim?" And like,
I would have went and just not
ticket.
gone to the seat. I would have just walked around,
walk around the concourse.
Yeah, have some brews.
Have some
Teddy Brewskis.
So what I did was this is right outside the Four Seasons Hotel, so I just gave it to the valet. I was like, somebody dropped this on the sidewalk. I'm just like, is you here? Because I'm not going to, you take care of that. I would basically pass it on. Maybe the valet went to the game. I don't know.
That's a good idea, because then at least you can be like, they could use that and be like, oh, you want to go to a Canucks game? Got one ticket.
Got one ticket if you want to sit by a bunch of strangers.
And then if in town for business, that could be okay.
Aren't you always sitting around a bunch of strangers? Isn't that what life is? Just a bunch of strangers.
Life is just a bus that you're on.
Yeah.
Just dirty and full of strange people.
Yeah, that's life. Dirty and full of strange people.
Further up the block, I ran into a hobo, and I was like, gave him some 50 cents. And I walked away, and I was like, what if I just gave that hobo the ticket? What if I just gave him the ticket, and he's like, I'm like, here you go, man. Can't give you any money, but
here's a ticket you could use.
Here's a ticket to a hockey game. Go to a game, or here's a ticket you can try to scalp it. But then now I'm not giving him money. I'm giving him a project. And that's not really fair.
The most beautiful thing of all.
Giving him a job, I guess, which is it's hard to come by these days. Employment is down. Economy's hurting. So if you don't have a job and someone just gives you a ticket on the street to sell, I don't know.
It's up in the US.
It always is. Okay, well, I know where I'm headed. Thanks, Obama, by the way, for raising the raising employment. So Chandler Jones
had hiring all those people, Obama.
He had a good day on Saturday. Alex, how was John's? Well, yeah, okay. Let me have a segue. How was John's week?
Chandler
Jones
interesting. What's interesting? Okay, so John Jones beat Daniel Cormier, UFC 182, unanimous decision.
And we talked about it. It was on the other podcast.
We talked about it. We discussed it. We talked about it. Go back and listen to it.
People listen.
Same thing. The best told you what happened. So anyway, after the fight, a couple days later, it turns out that John Bones Jones has tested positive for. To simplify, he tested positive for cocaine, which is a drug that is bad and you should never do. Unless someone gives it to you for free, and then, what's the no harm, no foul?
Unless there's a baggie that says John 316 on it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just...
you give it to a valet and you see what happens to his life.
Yeah. And so he didn't technically test positive for cocaine. He tested positive for a metabolite in cocaine, which has a long word that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, and it's not in front of me, and I don't feel like looking it up.
Is there any chance that it was anything other than cocaine?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No. But it's like when people test positive for steroids, sometimes they just test positive for the masking agent that's supposed to not allow you to test positive for it, but they test for that too. So you might not necessarily test positive for steroids, but you might do this, that.
So is he in trouble?
Yeah.
Cocaine's not performance enhancing.
One time during the NFL Combine, one guy tested positive because his levels weren't high enough, which showed he drank way too much water to possibly pee out whatever he was on. So he tested positive even though he didn't test positive for anything. He didn't have enough whatever in him. So it turns out that the positive test for John Jones was December 4th, which was a full 4 weeks before the fight. So the UFC knew about it. The Nevada State Athletic Commission knew about it. John Jones knew about it. I don't know if Daniel Cormier did or not. I don't know if that's a thing they divulged to the opponent. So clearly, they decided to go on with the fight regardless of the positive test because it's technically not illegal. It's not banned. It's not a banned substance under the Nevada State Athletic Commission. So they shouldn't actually even be testing for it technically. And apparently the test was improperly administered anyway. So it all came down that he won the fight. He tested positive 4 weeks ago, and nothing is going to happen, I don't think, because why would both entities allow the fight to go on? But he has checked into it's not rehab. I don't think they call it rehab. I think they called it a drug.
Place where there's no cocaine.
Treatment facility?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Treatment facility. Exactly what it is. So I don't know if that's different than a rehab or there's just a negative connotation with rehab.
That's like when JR would be like, "Oh, they're going to take that wrestler to a medical facility."
Facility.
Why can't you say the word hospital, JR? What's wrong with that?
That's weird.
They say both. They flip flop between both. Michael Cole does sometimes. Okay, that's fair. Anyway, yeah, it's a
that's a different one.
That's JBJ. Yeah, that was a weird story. I thought
that's odd. And,
on that.
A little embarrassing, I think, on his part. So
speaking of performance enhancing drugs,
yes, Matt, what are you on right now?
I want to talk about whatever those monsters in Space Jam took. Because Alex saw Space
Michael's
Jam.
Secrets.
Yeah.
And I want to hear about his experience listening to doing the Space Jam.
Not what they stuff. They took their talent.
They took their talents from Sean Bradley.
Yes,
Patrick Ewing,
Charles
Barkley, Muggsy
Patrick
Bogues,
Ewing,
Larry,
and I keep forgetting the fourth guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
Fifth guy.
No.
Dang it! I was thinking that exact thing the other day. It was like,
so I was at home over Christmas, as we all were, and I was in the basement, or someone was in the basement and brought up the Space Jam on VHS, which for me has a little special place in my heart. It was the first movie I ever bought with my own money, bought it at Costco, came with the collector's coin. So I kind of like, there's something about that
coin?
I like about it. No, I don't have the coin. I do with the VHS. I brought the VHS to my house, even though my house being my basement apartment. So I have that, and it now sits comfortably on my shelf. So that's good. And so I tweeted a picture of it and was like, I need a VCR stat. And someone replied, and that someone being Naz Berardi, a friend and real estate agent. If you need a house or sell a house or something about a house, call Naz Berardi. Mention the Triple Threat podcast, and you'll get a quizzical look. So he texts back or tweeted back. And
it's Larry Johnson, Alex. Larry
Johnson. Yeah. Anyway, he tweeted back and said, by the way, it's get a VCR that streams Netflix because Space Jam is on Netflix. And so that made my plans for the night real simple. And I watched it start to finish, and it holds up. It holds up so well. Like it's actually good. There's a couple parts like where the computer graphics are terrible.
Especially when they ball up
jam Michael Jordan into a ball and treat him like a basketball. And when Wayne Knight gets squashed and then they have to inflate him, it's really painful to watch. It's really painful to watch.
That
I think he farts it all out. I don't know why that is.
Yeah,
it's like they don't know how anatomy works.
Because kids movie and because it's in cartoon land. But there's
it's
a couple
not a kids movie. I was 27 years old and I watched it and it was awesome.
Yes, but if you were 27 years old and watching it for the first time, you wouldn't appreciate the nostalgia.
Do your dance in the Space Jam. All right.
The soundtrack is amazing.
Come on and jam if you want to jam. It's really good. Everybody get up. It's time to jam now. You got a real thing going down. Welcome to this. Who was reffing that game? So many flagrants. And I know who it was. It was Marvin the Martian. So many flagrant fouls. It's unbelievable. And he's just sitting there like nothing's going on. Are you serious, Marvin?
On both sides, too.
He got some fat stacks by letting a lot of calls go that game. Yeah.
Yeah. There weren't calls. I think this is one of those games where the refs put their whistles in their pockets and just kind of let them play. And I admire that.
I don't think they're pockets.
There's a couple logistic gaps in it that I didn't notice until I watched it recently. Like when Bugs and Daffy go to Michael's house to take his shorts, and the dog Charles takes his shorts and he hides them, and then Michael's kids all show up to save him. And this is the first time they've seen Bugs and Daffy in person. Like, oh, here you go. There's Dad's shorts. All right, go get them, Bugs. Like, all right.
Yeah, like they don't think anything of it.
No, they don't think anything of it. Like, oh, they don't ask why they need his dad's shorts, or they don't ask anything at all. They just know that they're playing a game. And there's another one where Stan Podolak is in the Monstars locker room, hiding in a locker, and we never saw him go in or why he's there. He's just that's where he's there. And he
Wayne Knight's character.
Yes, Wayne Knight's character.
I was like, I don't know who that
Stan
person is.
Podolak. Sam Podolak, who introduces himself by hanging over the side of the Birmingham Barons dugout, and then falling into it and sitting by Michael Jordan, and nobody looks at him. He just sits next to Michael Jordan, like, Stan Podolak. I'm going to assist him. Michael. Like that's no one's the
that he's not a ghost in that movie. Does anybody else acknowledge him? I don't think so.
Yeah, the golfing guy does. He's digging a hole. He's fixing a divot.
How good is Bill Murray in that movie? Bill Murray is so good in that movie.
Larry, I'm going to mark us down for a 2 there. I don't think we were in any emotional state to be golfing.
So it's just, I don't think they even wrote lines for him. It's obvious they didn't. It's just him being him.
And it's obvious. It's obvious they shouldn't, because he can ad-lib it so well.
Well, he did that Bill in Caddyshack with the famous "It's in the hole." Like that was all. Just improvised by him. Usually, give me a couple rows of flowers and a pitching wedge. Dude's a genius. Dude's a genius. Genius is overstating it, but I don't know. He's awesome.
I mean, if anyone's a comedy genius, Bill Murray seems to be a pretty good candidate.
He's high up there, man. He's funny, dude. So Space Jam, check it out on Netflix. It's got a 2 out of 5 on IMDb, so that's good. Good rating.
Is it 2 out of 5?
2 out of 5 stars. Apparently, according to my Google search. But if you grew up watching it, then watch it again.
Go check it out on Netflix. It's amazing.
I can still quote just about every line.
Yeah, and like Charles Barkley's really good in it, and they're all the players are really good in it. I don't know. It's all except for Sean Bradley, but whatever. I mean, we didn't expect much out of him. But yeah,
there's also one joke that I didn't catch when I was a kid when the therapist is asking Patrick Ewing. He's like, "Are there any other areas where you're having trouble performing?" He's like, "No."
Referring to the bedroom.
I would not have gotten that as a kid either.
Yeah, and I got
there's
that.
A lot of that. A lot of that.
There is a lot of that and a lot of that. You're right.
Be gone with you. Be gone. You're not Charles Barkley. You're just a man who looks like Charles Barkley. He's getting dunked on by a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, by a bunch of girls. They just get angry at him for playing.
Yeah, and kick him out. Get the hell out of here.
These two guys are still tall. I'm just another short guy. Do you guys see the? And this is something I didn't see, but Alex, you brought it up earlier this week. The Ant-Man trailer. I didn't see it yet.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
The Ant-Man trailer.
What's
what's the thoughts, sirs? This movie.
I don't know anything about Ant-Man.
This movie's had a lot of directorial swells.
Well, Edgar Wright was originally on board, who
for a long time.
The Cornetto Trio and Scott Pilgrim. He's fantastic. And then I don't know what happened. I mean, they always call it creative differences or this, that, and the other thing, where he was no longer attached. So I was way less excited. Then they announced Paul Rudd was Ant-Man, and then I wasn't really sure what to think of that. And I don't know. The trailer's it's interesting. They kind of take a humorous approach to it. Yeah. No, the trailer's good, but it's just kind of like you don't know how to take it. It's super serious, and then it cuts to Paul Rudd, and he's like, "Yeah." So, and then he calls him Ant-Man. He's like, "Yeah, are we really set on that name, or can we change that?" So I don't know. It's got some humorous. I don't know. Did either one of you guys see it?
Sounds like they're going for okay. Matt saw it. So what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, right along the same lines as that. Like, ever since I heard about this as an idea, like Ant-Man, I was like, that's not really interested in seeing that. Doesn't really interest me at all. Should be interesting to see what anybody does with that. And I mean, the trailer, it's looks fine. Michael Douglas is in it. Like Michael Douglas.
Yeah, Michael Douglas. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Interesting facial hair situation there for the movie. And so I don't really know. I guess
facial hair situation.
It'll just be a wait and see. It's one of those. It's we're in the part of our superhero movie culture where it's like, oh, I'm not really interested in seeing anything else. Like, yeah, I'll watch another Iron Man movie, but the more and more different superheroes we come up with,
no one's knocking down the door to go see a friggin' Ant-Man movie. But I don't know.
They weren't even for Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was really good. And sure, that could be good too. It's just you're not going to get that buzz from it being good.
Yeah, where's the line? Where are we stopping here in terms of what superhero we're gonna make into?
I think they're just going until the money stops coming. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
To keep going till money stops coming. They'll just have all sorts of different offshoots of Agent Carter, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Bill Jefferson, Agent blah blah blah. I mean, Haley Atwell, GQ, but that's just I don't know how many shows can you have about agents of Marvel, whatever it is.
Well, so far they have two, and I have not seen I've not seen Agent Carter, but I do like the 40s setting. That looks kind of cool, but I just don't think she's and saying this comes from a guy who hasn't seen an episode of the show, but I don't think she's a strong enough character to carry her own show. As soon as I saw her in
an episode, is it out yet?
I don't
know.
Oh, okay. Let's just start after the Super Bowl or before.
Have last night? No, the Golden Globes were tonight. So you wouldn't have, or were yesterday. They were really good.
Yeah, they were. And congratulations to all the Golden Globes awards winners. Yeah.
All right, good on you for your victory. Not
a very good award show. Not a very good award, but we enjoy it. Well,
they are. Speaking of awards, they are selling because they just did A Christmas Story at Neptune Theater in Halifax, Nova Scotia. They are selling, or were selling, I'm sure it's been sold by now, the leg lamp prop from the movie, or from the play, for $1,000.
And Alex, how big is this leg lamp?
It is 11 and a half feet tall.
Oh, so it's bigger than the one. Yes, I wouldn't want that one. I'd want the one they have on PTI, or so, like an actual. Actually, they have a small one, don't they? I'd want an actual size one.
I think
like
they
an
actual
actual leg.
It's possible.
I would actually. I want a leg lamp shaped after my leg. I want to get a mold of my leg done and have that made into a lamp. And if you want your leg to be made into a lamp, then tweet us. I'm at William C. Vaughn. And then these guys, we're going to say their Twitter handles.
Why don't you just ask us?
You just end it.
Just ask us. Say, hey, Matt, what's yours? Mine is...
Anytime I say my Twitter handle, I always expect you guys to say it next. And it doesn't happen.
And yet we
for comedy.
Don't. So stop expecting it. Hey, beer me. What? Oh, hand me that water. I say beer me. It gets a laugh like 25% of the time. Don't stop saying it.
I am at MP Vaughn on Twitter. Alex is at Evonix on Twitter.
Yeah. At Edelman11. Thank you, Matt, for
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for saying it for him.
Breaking news: Julian Edelman was mic'd up for the Pats Ravens game, and I could not be more excited. By the way, Matt, my brother, I know we're closing this off, so I apologize, but Matt's wife Emily gets very nervous. She has a very large crush, as we all do, on Julian. Also fault. And so anytime he gets tackled or just anything happens, she gets very nervous. So and I keep telling her, I go, he's going to be just as handsome if he gets injured and can't ever play again. So, I mean, there's not really a point in getting that nervous. But, yeah, she's got, I don't know, a rather large crush when you say, Matt.
Yeah, sure. It's there.
Yeah.
It's present.
Yeah, sure. It's there. Sorry.
Good thing I look just like Julian Edelman. I don't have to feel anxious.
Yeah, no, totally. You look...
the same.
Yeah, follow him on Twitter for pictures of himself, and you'll find out.
I think we know what you look like, and it's someone who goes to Pat's game, but it's not Julian Edelman.
He wears a green hat and looks a little bit
green hat.
Wears a green hat. Looks like he had like
waves to the camera.
Like he smoked a little green bag before he got to the stadium.
A greenback? Like
all right,
everybody, American $1 bill?
No, green bag. Smoked American $1 joints.
All right, everybody.
All right, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. We'll talk about the. What are we going to talk about next week?
Well,
let's give them something to look forward to.
When's the Royal Rumble?
It's the 25th. So next week we'll preview the Royal Rumble, which takes place the week after.
Okay.
That'll be the big. That's the big.
Brad the YM
all right.
requested.
As Brad the YM requested on Twitter, in front of the show. Thanks everybody. We love you. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't do drugs.
Ever.